Hey everyone, it's been a couple weeks since I've done a update on my lifting progress, so I figured it was just as good a time as any to do it. I'm on week 15 of EvolveAI, so I'll be doing a progress report through 14 weeks. I'm on the hypertrophy block currently. I started out with that, then I went to strength, and then I went back to this. It has been changing throughout the overall program. I'm really enjoying the changes and kind of what happened. Just a little updates before I get started. On the nutrition side, I've been starting to eat more protein, so I'm trying to get over 200 grams a day. I'm 180 pounds, 6 feet tall, so I'm trying to just continue to build that muscle to go more of the protein route. So the program I'm doing is 4 days a week. When I started out, I was doing 5 days a week, but that just ended up being a little bit too much for me because I am 45 years old. I'm not old, I'm not young, but the 5 days a week kind of just broke me down a little bit. The 4 days is much more manageable. At some point, will I go back to five? Probably. And the other thing too for me is I've really enjoyed the lifting aspect. I'm getting into it. It takes me about an hour and a half because I'm doing medium intensity. I like the little update that EvolveAI did on the intensity thing, so it's kind of nice. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to have the iPad in my hand and I'll put it up over here just to make it a little bit easier to see. And I'm going to go through the main three core lifts, the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. All the accessory lifts have gotten better. My chin-ups, pull-ups, I can do 3, 4 sets of 10, no problem. And I'm starting to add some weight to that. On the dip side, it's kind of the same thing. Dips, so much easier. Been able to do that and been able to add some weight there. Everything else on the accessory side too, it's just been going up. But for the purposes of our video, I'll just make it quick and simple and just go through the main lifts. All right, so we're gonna get started and look at the comp bench. As I go down here, I'm just gonna scroll down to the bottom to kind of show you where I was. So 135 pounds, a set of 5, which is RPE 8, all the way back in December. It just seems like the other day that I just started this. And if I scroll all the way up now, my estimated max is 240 to 250. I think that's probably about right. Today during my workout, I had 2 sets of 8. My first set of 8 was at 225, and my second set of 8 was at 185. The 225, I struggled just a little bit towards the end there, but I got through it. And then the next set at 185 was actually pretty easy. So the 240 to 250 pounds is probably pretty close for a max of 1. So I went from all the way from 135 to 240 to 250 in about 3 months' time. All right, so the next one we're going to look at is the high bar squat. This one out of all three has probably given me the most trouble, and I've probably struggled with the progression a lot, but it is getting better. It's just not as good as the other ones, or at least I don't feel it, but I'm just going to continue to work on it. So here, when I first started in December, it was a 195 was my estimated max. I was doing sets lower than that, but this is just the history that it has. And let's fast forward to today. My estimated max here is like 260 to 270. I can get through it. My estimated max probably for 1 rep, I could probably grind out around 300 pounds, if not a little bit lower than that, probably 280. But if I go from 195 to 285, you could just see that this one is probably not the best, but I'm still happy with the overall progress. And I know that there's going to be a point with this particular lift that it just gets there and I'm able to push a lot more weight. So lastly, I'm going to look at the deadlift. So remember on the deadlift, I didn't really do the deadlift in high school or college, doing college athletics, doing track and field. It just really wasn't a thing. We did more Olympic lifting, so we did more hang cleans, more cleans, etc., those type of things. So if I go all the way down to the history here, I'm pretty much starting from 0, and I started at 185 for a set of 5. And if you scroll all the way up here, my best set for 5 lately has been 300 pounds at 5. I did do 315 pounds for a set of 1, and I could probably do more than that, but this one is really surprising to me. I really enjoy the lift. I continue to just work on my form because I know that this lift can be one of those ones where if you don't have good form, you could hurt yourself pretty easily. So out of all three, this is the one that I've really enjoyed doing. And my Rogue deadlift platform has performed flawlessly. I really love it. I'm glad that I bought it. And also, I really enjoy the Texas deadlift bar for the smaller diameter. I really am enjoying the program. The cost that I paid for the full year has been totally worth it. I've already felt like through 3 months, I've already got my money's worth. There are some things that have changed, like the intensity levels that I like. Currently, right now, I'm on the medium intensity level. I actually might move it down to the lower intensity level to get more bodybuilding type focus, but for the most part, for now, I'm going to just keep everything as is. Really happy with all of them. The squad is a little bit lagging behind, but I know it'll get there. Rome wasn't built in a day, and this is a marathon as well. There are some quirks to it, of course, that you need to update your 10 rep max as well as your 1 rep max more often than I thought you would have to. So then it gets the output of the right and correct weights, because at times, if you don't have those things updated, it'll input or output like super odd things. That is just one thing I don't necessarily like. I also mentioned this in another video. I wish there was a little tab for PRs so you could actually just see what they were without having to go into history. And lastly, this is not a negative, but I'm just going to continue to mention this. Hopefully they can find out a way of doing this, because the old training program that I used to do for cycling, Trainer Road, does have this ability, and it's just awesome. And that is to be able to push weeks ahead in the future or pull weeks back. So for example, if I'm going on vacation and I'm not going to be able to lift, I don't want to have to restart my program or have the week be behind. I want to just be able to tell the app, hey, I have a vacation coming up. Can you just move my program 1 week in the future? So then when I come back, my program is right there and I'm not missing anything. I'm sure is very difficult to do. I'm not a programmer, but it's just kind of a wish list item. With that, please let me know if there's any comments below. Please like the video because it does help out the video on the algorithm so I can, continue to do these. And if you have any comments, just let me know as well. So thank you again, and I will catch you on the next one.